Hello, everybody. Welcome back to WPC, and more importantly, welcome back to War in the Pacific and the Invictus play-by-email game. So, interesting. It's an interesting situation. I don't think we're doing that well. I think we're risking things. But I also feel like we've got to risk things to make sure that stuff is happening. There's been a few mistakes that I've made, in particular in regards to setting up flights and making sure things are happening. In particular, for example, the issue with the Kates last turn. I should have changed their range so that they weren't in range of Singapore, which would have helped us out massively. We have a sub chaser trying to damage, and it has actually damaged some sub, but again, doesn't seem to be much. I'm not seeing major damage to engines or things like that. Just some mild taking on of water. Decent hits though. I will take that. Getting some damage off on subs is super important. It's more about like trying to suppress those subs more than anything, because they are everywhere and they are utterly annoying and frustrating to deal with. But yeah, in our invasion, for example, of Sumatra, I think it's kind of not been the best start, and it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. Hopefully, we'll have air cover and there won't be mines at Oosthaven or the Sunder Strait, but we will see. We are losing some troops from the 52nd Naval Guard as they load onto this task force. Our patrol boat got lucky there. It got hit by a sub, but it didn't explode because, US submarines are awful early in this part of the game. Now, what we can do is we can send some DMSs that are near, Tarakan and things like that. We can send them to kind of clear out areas nearby and make sure that things like the Sunder Strait are clear, the Bali Strait and things like that. Maybe even put our own mines there. Maybe it should be something we should have done. Again, mine warfare is not my speciality. I'm not particularly successful with it. I know we've got some submarines we need to move. This is the bad weather that we kind of felt like we would be dealing with. We managed to get some Betty bombers flying over China near Kukong, which is good. But yeah, generally most of this is not necessarily what we'd want. But we are getting a raid on Pamelbang here. So there is stuff going on. 74 Allied ground casualties. It also keeps up, hopefully, Invictus believing and hoping that that's where we're going to land. He spots ships near Sumatra. He sees them trying to attack Singapore, and goes, okay, maybe he got it wrong. And then this turn he sees, okay, he's attacked Pamelbang. Let me kind of make sure that troops are there. If that means that Oosthaven, etc., is more clear for us, then fantastic, because it means we can land there, get our troops onto the ground, set up, escorts with cruisers and destroyers, and make sure that area is really safe. Now, we're missing the graphics for today because of alt tabbing and stuff like that, but some bombing raids from again Allied aircraft. Now this is some Wirraways and some Dutch bombers. We've got Zeros getting amongst these and doing a decent amount of damage. Actually, this is what we wanted them to do a while ago. The only problem is I've got to hope that they aren't, don't have too many bombers for us to kind of deal with, if that makes sense. But we are destroying them, and again, this is going to kind of pay back for yesterday in a way. So that's good. So we're going to just skip forward. There was 8 that managed to get through. 1 did just get destroyed by flak. This is not actually attacking our carriers. This is attacking our our landing fleet. And this is where the problem comes, because these are nowhere near Pamelbang. So he might think, aha, we're going to get you there. Now, we did take some casualties because maybe we had some hits. Again, more enemy bombers, more Dutch. More zeros. This time a lot more got through, which is annoying. But they seem to be focusing on the Takeo and not doing a particularly good job at it. So that's good. I will, touch wood and hope nothing happens. And some zeros managed to get into them behind. Don't seem to be destroying too many here. I mean, again, as long as we didn't lose anything, which is seemingly not the case, then that's fine. I'm happy going to do that. Again, Vulcans and Hudsons coming from Singapore. And again, now we actually have some aircraft here doing some, sweeping and some cap. This is what we kind of think we've been missing a lot. I think Invictus has had a little bit of a free hand with some of his bombers and stuff like that. I don't think we're going to shoot all of these down. No, didn't, but again, getting some of them is good. Obviously, I'm not a fan of, I always get nervous when I see aircraft attacking ships that are preparing to load troops, and I need those troops to be getting ready to load as soon as possible. But again, it doesn't seem that anything is happening. We managed to destroy some of those Falcons. More Hudsons, though, and we only have some nades to deal with them, which means they're not really going to get much done. No damage there. No damage there. And no damage there. Whew. So far, so good. It is nerve-wracking. It is genuinely nerve-wracking. Oh great, the fucking ship just our zeros just don't get there. Again, no damage done, and I'm hoping the zeros. No, they didn't. Oh my god, the amount of bombing by Invictus here is crazy. Again, luckily it doesn't seem like we took any damage. Did skip through it a little bit, but yeah. Oh my gosh, we still got bloody afternoon flights to go. Oh. Okay. I'm like silent. I'm just like nervous that something is going to happen. I'm terrified that there's going to be some sort of surprise attack or something, that I've just not seen. Okay, a couple of Falcons going after Ching. I'm sure the Nates can deal with these. Yeah, good job. They managed to destroy those. It'd be things like the Hudsons and the Dutch bombers, the WH whatevers. Those are the kind of ones that are a bit spooky. But that does seem that our flights are pretty okay. So, we did a bit of bombardment there because we weren't sure what it was. It was just an enemy command. This is also bombardment at Kanshen. We're taking some casualties there, which isn't great. Bombardment at Kukong. I mean, we could kind of do a little bit more there to try and break it. This is our bombardment attack at Clark Field. Now, the 48th Division has turned up. Has that turned up, or is it just 48th Division has always been here, and I'm just losing my mind? And both are very, very possible. Both are extremely possible. In fact, both are more than likely not. Both are the likely idea. I'm losing my mind here. No. A lot going on. A lot of stress. A lot of worry. Okay. So, that should be the end of the day. Nothing too major happening. Seems that Invictus decided not to bombard at Clark Field, which is interesting. It's very interessant. Huh. So these are some aircraft that we're moving down to Kotabaru. Okay, so let us have a look at what we've got going on over here. Got units moving around, that's fine. So it is the 38th Division, still not there just yet. I'm going to put them into move. Let's try and get them there a bit quicker. Because we want them there as soon as possible so that they can assist. What we got going on up here? This port should be expanding, but it doesn't seem to be. Even though we've got construction units here. Build me the port. Or is it because there's not enough supplies? It might be because there's not enough supplies, to be honest. There's also a load of construction units here as well. So these guys can move down too. So set all to follow, set all to this op mode. So they should all move down to give that assistance. Okay. The Hokusen Maru made it. God, amazing. Dock, and then you can disband once you've got your troops off. So that's good. How are these guys getting on? They seem, the Otago seems to be okay. She seems to be making it back pretty chill, which is good. How is our landing force doing? Fine. The Tensen Maru wants to go back. It can't. It absolutely can't. It needs to stay there. Because that's got most of my infantry on it. So that did get hit. That's worrying. I need you to get there as quickly as you can. Oh my god. It's just so fucking worrying. Okay. Got our DMSs here. We're going to send them over to try and help that area. We've also got... We're going to get these to disband when they get back to Balikpapan, so they can do what we need them to do. Everything else is fine. The Ryu is up here with her aircraft, but she needs to replenish at some point. They should be able to get there by tomorrow. I just don't know. That's the problem. It seems a lot of I don't know at the moment, which is not ideal in the slightest. Now, all of these should be... Well, I kind of don't want all of these on strat move. All of these... There's a lot here that is on strat. So most of these now can go to, you know, move orders. They'll take a couple of days to get into that, but it's key stuff we can rebuild. I mean, the 21st is on its way, although it's going to Tamalau. So when they meet up at Malacca, that'll be more useful for them. Okay, so the Nates have turned up, which is good. Obviously, they can't upgrade. I don't necessarily want to use these just yet, but they are there ready to go. So we will use them. There is... more units here as well. Again... couple of infantry regiments and recon regiments that should all be in strat move, really. Let's get them into that. Because again, we're going to want these guys to move up towards, you know, Singapore, etc. So strat move is the quickest way to do that at the moment. Let's do another deliberate attack at Brunei to try and clear that out. Over here, the Lushu war area, that can have a deliberate attack. And then we can move that 13th Mixed Brigade to wherever we're struggling. I think Hanshao is struggling a little bit with its garrisons. Elsewhere, did we spot any interesting, you know, American shipping or aircraft or what? I genuinely don't know. Set home narrow island. And again, we do the same thing where we're going to load up the troops from here and land them somewhere else. We do need more supplies, and we also need, you know, air construction stuff on this, I think, very significantly. Tarawa should have units coming. We'll check that in just a second, but let's just have a look, see if there's anything we saw that was of use. Seemingly not. How are our Jakes there that are done? There was some here. There's some Alfs there which have... I remember what these guys are doing. These are going back to Truck, because Truck was big enough for them to replenish. And not just replenish, to upgrade so that we can use them as Jakes, and we can put them somewhere like, for example, in Wake Island or Entewok to build up our scouting areas. Now, what ship do we have there? Tarawa does have an AV, so we can stick that group there into Tarawa, and they can keep an eye around Baker Island. I did think I was moving some other stuff towards Tarawa, but I could be massively wrong about that. What I think I will do is... There's a cargo ship here that's not doing... that is literally just for moving cargo. Okay, form UTF. Probably have to be amphibious. Okay. Not and troop. Okay, there is a couple of AKTs. Let's use these guys. What we want to do, load troops. We want to load one of these companies and it's naval construction unit. Verify load. Accept. And then again, move this down to probably Ocean Island. It's part of that, you know, giving us more eyes in the sky, so to speak. Now, we do have Claudes here. Do need... They're not using drop tanks. Transfer to base. They can fly to Pinop. Maybe then we can fly them further. We can upgrade them to zeros. And again, it gives us zeros over here in the south. Elsewhere, I think everything's okay. What's the minefield like here? 25. That's not very good, is it? Search arcs should be pretty good, but I was just looking at that then. It's more in areas that we don't actually need them. We need them more here. So that will be what? The Mavis is doing that. So let us go to patrol aircraft. What's the pilot here? Only submarine. Not really that good. What about... No, recon's not great either. Naval search is where it's at, and that's what we want them for. So, let them go off that. 50% search, 50% rest. Now then, let us set these up. So, set on map. First one, over Lunga. Second one, towards here. And that way, we kind of basically can see everything in the Coral Sea up to Port Moresby. Now, what we can do is these guys, which were on the Fur Attacker and things like that, they can be upgraded, or they can't. I mean, they can be just disbanded. Because can I remake those groups? That's just aircraft. Destroyed air groups. Yes, I can. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to rebuild these. Because if we go back to lists of ships sunk, and we go to CAs, we did lose the Fur Attacker and the Kako. That's, you know, bad. But we'll use their squadrons as float planes, and we'll equip them with Jakes. What's the you know, how are we doing on this? 1, 2, 3, 4 enemy battleships and a battle cruiser. We lost 2 heavy cruisers, and then basically everything else is most of the other warships are the Allied warships. We've lost patrol boats, and we've lost a lot of cargo ships, rather frustratingly. You know, all of these cargo ships, so many of them that are ours, which is really annoying. I mean, if we go to scoring, Allied ships, luckily their points are higher, but that's going to be held up by the fucking battleships. Again, I don't think there's too much more we need to do. The Zyoho and the Hoshu are on their way to give us more units and more aircraft carriers down in the Coral Sea. They'll also help support this kind of move in towards the Celebes and Western New Guinea. But yeah, I think everything else is as we kind of want it. I'm curious to see how Invictus is planning to fight for Singapore and how many troops he's got there. I have a feeling he'll have quite a few. What are these guys unloading? The 4th division. Ah, good. Yet another division that has arrived. So these will obviously be useful as well. Let's set these to Singapore as well. Yeah, then they can, you know, move towards that. We do have a Air Force battalion here, a couple of them in Stratmove. Let me just check why. It's because of this. No, not really, but I mean, it's not going to be a problem if they get more. So let's do that. Okay. Now then, let's get these zeros into action. The rest of them are at Nanshan. Are they repaired yet? No, not yet. Let's get these zeros into action. Oh, or do we want to move these zeros down to Singapore? No, no. I'm going to set them to sweep. A little bit on cap. A little bit on long-range cap. Some resting. And then the rest, I want you to sweep over Rangoon. Okay. Let's see how this goes. There's a construction company here. Let's put that also to move up there to help get that airfield built. Because at the moment, it's not particularly big. It is getting built, which is good, but it needs a lot more. In regards to that, is anyone just in Stratmove? Yeah. I don't know how much difference it makes if they're in Strat or not, but it's nice to just make sure that I'm not going insane and wasting time. But other than that, I think it's all okay. I'm going to just stick these on defend for the time being in Tarakan just to give them a chance to break out and do something a little more. I think I am going to get some of these, the Sasebo SNLF company to maybe land at Banjarmasin with some support in the future, as well as starting to look to land at the Celebes and things. It's fine. I just need more happening, I think. This is my worry and my panic, is that more needs to be happening. And it feels like not enough is. That's 324 troops. I need more than that if I'm going to do a landing. There's a tank regiment there, though. Alright. I think we're going to leave it here for the time being. We do have some more DMSs over here. I don't really want to risk it. Is that getting repaired? One major engine damage, that's fine. It doesn't necessarily need that. Now, I think something we will definitely do is because we are gathering the 2nd division together, which is going to be the main division to... What's it, Kuching? Yeah, that's, they're at Sambas. Okay. Because we know that this is going to be our main unit that is doing the fighting or doing our initial landing, the 2nd Infantry Division, we are going to give that the dock. So that it, the landing dock, so it can basically try to get as much out as possible, and as quickly as possible. So yeah, we'll also give them some airbase units as well, so that immediately they can just offload, and we can get some aircraft over there to give them some support. We got some SNLF troops as well, which I think we'll use again to give them that support. Try to break things with a fist rather than just a little tap. We do have some independent SNLF companies that we can use, I suppose, to just capture some of these little places, which could be useful. Again, maybe capturing Salibs wouldn't be a bad idea now, but again, I don't really know what's going on there. What we could do is we could split the Babs. Although according to this, maybe it looks like they already are. Transfer to base. Oh, I can reach there. Cool. What we can get those guys to do is these guys can do a bit of recon over Massacre just to see if there's what roughly is there. So rest, select target. And then we can set up another unit to go and invade down there, which will be fun. And again, start capturing all of these little areas, just to kind of secure that map, because we've only got 2 months to really get things moving. And I'm starting to get a little worried that we're doing it too slowly. But we will leave it here after just very briefly checking our R&D on our aircraft. Anything happening with the new Zeros? Please tell me. No, I don't. Oh, the roofs are supposedly now coming along. I mean, good, I suppose, but I really wish the Zeros would be moving. Someone explained to me in the either our Discord, or in what you call it, or in the comments, why this isn't working. Like, what am I getting confused with? What's going wrong? And then once you do, I will be forever grateful. However, we will leave it here. And until next time, I know I said that about 7 times. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.